Welcome back to the Man Up channel. I am your host, Bob Buckland, and with me again today is John Font.
That's right. We're here, and we're going to talk.
What if I told you that you are too white?
I would go tanning, but I burn easily.
One of the many downfalls of being too white, I guess, is you easily turn red.
It's true. You got to watch, especially with a little bit of red hair I got going on in me. I got a little bit of that Welsh heritage going on, so I burst out in freckles and red and just burn to a crisp.
No.
But there are some people who think that that is a terrible thing, and we're going to talk about Coca-Cola today because it seems to be, they're of course denying everything, and it has all been pulled off their website, but a whistleblower at Coca-Cola is saying that this course is required at the company in order to keep your job, and I don't know about you, but I'm always excited about keeping my job.
I am too, until they discriminate by, oh no, try to be less white.
Like that's a choice that we have. Anyway, Coca-Cola employees were urged, this is from the New York Post, the Coca-Cola employees were urged to be less white as a part of the company's alleged diversity training, but the material was yanked offline following a viral whistleblower. The Confronting Racism course in question was offered by LinkedIn Education and allegedly utilized by the soft drink titan. Quote, "In the U.S. and other Western nations, white people are socialized to feel that they are inherently superior because they are white," end quote, reads one of the slides allegedly sent from the internal whistleblower and posted on Twitter by YouTube commentator Caroline Borsinko. I probably butchered that name, but we'll go on from there. Of course, later on, Coca-Cola denied that the training and the feature interviews featuring sociologist Robin DiAngelo was mandatory for employees. The Confronting Racism course featuring Robin DiAngelo is no longer available in our course library at the request of a third-party content provider we licensed this content from, says Nicole Leverick, the vice president of the corporate communications at Coca-Cola. So I don't know mandatory usually means if you don't lose your job over something like that, it does mean usually you take some sort of penalty.
Right.
Or are not considered for moving up or doing something like that.
Yeah, take the training or you're no longer needed here is pretty much what they were saying.
Right, and I mean, according to what I see, that was a continuing thing. The drink giant later told the publication while its Better Together initiative included access to the LinkedIn diversity training, it was not part of the company's curriculum, but it was on their website. I think we're doing some backpedaling here. I think that's where we are. People always are trying to backpedal once they get caught. I think it's one of those, you get your hand caught in the cookie jar and you're like, I wasn't trying to get a cookie. I was reaching for something else that I dropped in there.
You see, you gotta be smarter about that. Not sure about you, but I'm number 2 out of 6 as siblings, so you gotta be smarter when it comes to everybody else. And by doing this, you can tell that they never had to grow up with anybody. I would have had my younger brother sneak his hand in the cookie jar, then just beat him up and take the cookie from him.
And see, there's wisdom to that, but Coke hasn't figured that out yet. One of the slides says to be less white is to be less oppressive, be less arrogant, be less certain, be less defensive, be less ignorant, be more humble, listen, believe, and break with apathy, break with white solidarity.
See, for the most part, what they're saying is because you're white, you automatically think you're better than everyone else. And for the most amount of people that I know, don't think that.
No, and I don't think that's not a racial thing either. That's just in general.
See, I remember growing up, and I lived right next to a railroad track and across the street from a pig slaughterhouse. no point in my life have I ever thought I was better than somebody else.
Well, at least not because of money. I mean, usually 90% of the time it's because of work. Especially, I think I sent you that thing with McGregor, and it has him standing there, and it goes, what it really means to be a man. And it goes, nobody cares, work harder. And it's true. I mean, truthfully, and I know I'm not going to act like there's not racist people out there, and I've seen that. But generally speaking, especially at my job, I don't really care what color you are. I just want you to do your job.
Right. I just want to go home at the end of the day. I don't care what color you are as long as you do your job so I can go home.
Right. And I think, we all have our friends and things, and I always joked with people I was never racist growing up because there were no black people in my city. So, but there just wasn't. It wasn't that I consciously. There was no black people to make friends with. Now that's very different when you talk to other people.
Mm-hmm.
But another slide said, confronting racism means understanding what it means to be white, challenging what it means to be racist. The Drink Giant told publication that its Better Together initiative, we will continue to listen to our employees and refine our learning programs as appropriate, the company said. And that was what the New York Post had to say about it. Basically, a bunch of apologies saying, we didn't do that. We didn't mean to do that. We didn't do that.
So to all this, what was the response? Let's see. According to Candace Owen, if a corporate company set around a training kit instructing black people to be less black, the world would implode and lawsuits would follow. I genuinely hope that the employees sue at Coca-Cola for blatant racism and discrimination. This is outright racism under the guise of education. Substitute any other race for white and watch the reaction. You can't reach equality by Wow, I can't talk right now. But yeah, said another person.
People need names.
I'm sorry about that. That is so early for me. But pretty much, yeah, completely agreed with what everyone had to say in these comments. It's, if you would substitute any other color for the word white, heads would roll.
It's true. And then we were also reading here from Candace Owens, Kendall Jenner launched a tequila brand this week and faced immediate vicious backlash for culturally appropriating Mexicans. Because it was tequila, I guess. I honestly can't comprehend how stupid and unbearable American woke society has become. That was Candace's tweet.
I don't get that. A profitable market to make alcohol, especially if you can do it better than the next person.
And you stick Kendall Jenner's name on it, and people think about Kendall Jenner and drink it anyway.
Don't even want to imagine how many taco shops were opened up by some white dude that can make pretty good tacos.
Right. Speaking of, our friend is trying to open a taco truck and wants to do that. Does that make him less white because he can make tacos? Or that he should give part of the proceeds to the Mexican Children Border Fund?
No. I had his tacos. They were really good drunk tacos.
Oh, Tom Quiglin. It's the best I got for it. Said, thanks to Coca-Cola for finally giving me a reason to quit drinking Diet Coke. For health reasons, I shouldn't be drinking it anyway. # Coke is racist.
I think the biggest takeaway there is remember that Pepsi doesn't judge you.
It's true. I don't know. I've never heard anything about that, but it's been interesting to see, though, how this has played out and how they just backpedaled all the way through it and tried to get out of that. Speaking of allegiances, though, Hong Kong leaders must pledge loyalty and show love for China's Communist Party to stay in office. So talk about losing your job. Those people over there are basically telling the political people in Hong Kong that if they don't show love for China and the Chinese emperor, is that what he is?
I would say yes at this point.
Oh, he's been in there for a long time.
He definitely wasn't elected.
No. It says on the bottom, many district counselor suspended from the office after failing the loyalty test would be sent to court and formally disqualified and banned from contesting elections for 5 years. The bill potentially paves the way for mass disqualification of pro-democracy politicians who took almost 90% of the 452 district council seats in Hong Kong in 2019 election, humiliating the pro-Beijing camp. While the district councils decided little beyond community-level issues such as garbage collection, bus stops, Beijing and Hong Kong authorities are determined that all public institutions in the city must be run by people loyal to Beijing. That's kind of I think that could be where the next step goes from this. We'll end up not Coke telling you you're going to lose your job and backpedaling. They'll just be like, you have to be loyal to the Coca-Cola or you'll be fired.
Sadly enough, I think I can see that actually happening to a lot of places anymore.
Yeah, Hong Kong has been a hotbed for, you basically had a democracy and it's being taken over by the Chinese Communist Party, and they're making sure that that happens for sure.
Not to rabbit trail too much here, but we've seen Disney pretty much been doing the same thing. It not going to go into another Gina Carano story, even though I love to see how things are playing out for her, but there's even a lot of people on that set that are scared to talk out or even to support her because of fear of losing their jobs.
Right, and it's a popular job where you're making money, so why wouldn't you do that?
I still love you, Gina, if you ever hear this.
There's more than one. Our one and only comment was just because of the thumbnail of Gina Carano. Oh.
All right, we got enough time for one more story. What else do we got?
Well, last but not least, Animal Crossing. You play Animal Crossing? You have a Switch.
I do have a Switch. My kids do have Animal Crossing, since I've played it for a whole whopping 5 minutes before I just kind of started banging my head into the wall because it was way too cutesy for me. It's like, no.
My daughter has Animal Crossing, and I knew people at work who were just like, oh gosh, have you heard? Animal Crossing's coming out. And one of the guys there that plays Call of Duty goes, wow, you mean I can go out and recycle and rescue animals like in real life, except not? Why would I want to do that?
I don't get it. It's I'd rather be playing Zelda and just like mowing down a horde of ogres.
Or, yeah, something jumping, backflipping, doing things to that effect.
If the game does not have killing in it, then I am not going to play it.
Well, this is from Screen Rant. Animal Crossing's Nukazan is sorry for censoring the BLM protest discussion that was going on in their Discord channel. Now, as we've said, Animal Crossing is more than a little family-friendly.
It takes family-friendly to a whole new level. This is the game that you would let your 5 or 6-year-old play because there's really no thinking involved with it. You just kind of pick up stuff and there you go. Have fun.
And you walk around. I've heard of it called a relationship simulator, but I think that's very basic. I don't know. Anyway, the Animal Crossing marketplace Nukazan apologized to the community for its effort to censor Black Lives Matter content from its official Discord. Now, I started doing some looking into this because personally I'm not into censoring, period, but I also understand I have a family and I don't want my children walking around saying the F word all the time because I'm a concerned citizen and I really don't need my children doing that. They'll learn that when they get out in the workforce. There's plenty of people that already know how to do that. So the marketplace Nukazan has apologized to its community for attempting to censor Black Lives Matter content from its official Discord. It is a fan-developed website designed for resource players to interested in selling and trading in-game goods. So when we're talking about in-game goods, we're talking about stuff that you pick up in the game, and if you want to trade it with somebody else who has it, then you could do that. But it's, again, family-friendly. I mean, my 8-year-old was on there, and so on and so forth, and so on and so forth. And one of the people that was on here says it seems to be very foul language about the police officers in general and stereotyping them. I don't want to get involved, but the mods on this server are saying very disrespectful things, and I want to make sure that none of this is happening in this server. And then there was just a whole bunch of F the cops that went up after that, and I'm pretty sure they just deleted them all.
Well, I mean, there is a difference between free speech and hate speech. We all know this. We all understand what could be considered hate speech, and at that point. But because it's tied into something that BLM supports, it can't be considered hate speech because they're always in the right, and they can't be racist, and they can't be hurtful, and, you know, they can riot and protest and burn cities to the grounds, and we'll have the Democratic leaders just chanting, supporting, and breaking them out of jail. But at the same point, it's, you know, what they're saying with F the cops, that's definitely hate speech.
And that's definitely not something my 8-year-old needs to see, regardless of what it is. It could have been F bunnies, and I'd have been like, you need to delete that because my child doesn't need to know.
Well, you know what? You just need to go to Coke and get some Be Less White training, and you'll probably be okay with what's going on here.
Oh, I'll understand better. Correct. As a means of showing support for BLM, Nazoon had created a safe space for members wishing to engage in a conversation to educate others about political issues. We've created a Discord channel titled Current Events, and the users could discuss all topics constructively. So it's kind of like constructive criticism. If I just say, Bob, you're stupid, that doesn't help you become less stupid.
No, but I mean, that is a general fact.
But, yeah, generally speaking. So, the apology shows that the site is taking proactive measures to support the community members who felt slighted by its moderation. It may be too late. A large number of former Nukazan users are looking for other sites to sell and trade on instead. Longtime users are making way over to competing sites such as Nook.market, applauding the site for openly supporting BLM from the get-go. At this time, Nukazan can only move forward. The organization promises to continue to educate themselves and the community about the social injustices and BLM. The staff says they hope they can foster a healthy communication for the Animal Crossing New Horizons community via their Discord channel and continue to urge members to donate to related organizations. I never thought I would have to dig politics out of my games, but even like kid games like this are really getting into it, and I do have to watch what my kids are doing Roblox-wise because sometimes those get so politically motivated.
I know, it's weird that you would take something that you would have for viewers around 10 years old, and now it becomes all political and...
F the police.
I don't get it.
I don't either, but again, they want to get in your kids' minds because they can change it, so... I remember when all the political ads were going around, and my kids would ask me, are you voting for so-and-so? And I'd be like, who? No. What are you talking about? How do you know about all this political stuff? And here, YouTube commercials. I seriously considered buying YouTube Red just so my children didn't have to watch the political commercials during that time. Of course, I guess you could say that would be a bump up for YouTube because, shoot, how else is your 6-year-old going to know about recent political views?
You know, I can't say I knew anything about politics at all until... Oh gosh, I don't think I even followed it until I was probably in my 20s.
Yeah. No, I didn't really get involved too much in politics.
I really doubt most kids even care.
I think the only reason I knew anything about politics is because my dad used to listen to Rush Limbaugh when it started. And I was like, what is he even talking about? I didn't really know. So, of course, I asked my dad to explain it to me at the time. But it's been interesting to see the people that I work with who this was their first election and to hear how they got their information and so on and so forth. But I guess somebody's got to teach you how to do politics, and CNN is really working hard to be that number one spot to train you how to do politics.
Yeah, well, they got to compete with most high schools and colleges now.
True. I don't know how much of that they're learning in high school, so...
Well, I can tell you which side they're leaning to.
Yeah, that's true as well. No. I was going to find the article, but I can't find it right now off the top of my head, where a teacher had told the students in her class that they needed to write to the governor about a transgender bill that was going through, and that they needed to write pro letters to that, and if they wrote against that, then they got failing grades.
Huh. That doesn't seem, fair or accurate at all, considering that you have the right to your own opinions and beliefs.
Well, and then, it was an assignment, so why... I don't think you can use your... then again, I guess colleges use their teaching positions to try and push people.
Oh, yeah, they politicize all the time anymore.
To move things in that direction. Yep, that's true.
But you know what? In wrapping this segment up, we're going to say that Coke... Sadly, I enjoy you with a Jack and Coke, but I'm going to have to stop drinking that at this time until, probably forever.
I think it'll be okay. That Aldi's brand really isn't too bad.
Once you put Jack in it, it doesn't really matter at that point.
After the third Jack and Coke, it doesn't even matter if there's Coke
was
in
normally
it.
for coloring anyways.
So that it looks a little bit better, so...
So with that, this is the Man Up channel. I'm your host, Bob Buckland. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe, and we will see you next time.
We sure will. See you then.